Friends, I have just finished sewing up the world's coolest bags and I had to tell you all about it. If this is your first time here, my name is Matthew of Mixed Domestic. This is an inclusive sewing environment and space. Everyone's welcome here as long as you don't want someone else not to be here. That's the one rule that I have because that's what makes it inclusive and that's what makes it fun. If that sounds interesting to you, before we get into the content of the video, just make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're digging the vibe. And if you want to know about videos when they come out, hit that little bell button and it'll notify you anytime a new video comes out. Now, let's get into these awesome bags. It was on a whim. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw these amazing bags. It's a pattern by Aneela Hoey and I had never seen these bags before and they were genius. They open up and they sit there. They're like transformer bags and you can put so much in there, but it looks like just a regular zipper bag. So I grabbed this fabric by Anna Maria Horner that I thought was super pretty and I bought it without purpose, and it was exactly the time to use it because wow, like look at these. It's pretty amazing. And I found the PDF pattern easy peasy puddin' pie. So this video is not going to be a tutorial. It's going to be a pattern review, which is a little different, but there were some tips and tricks that I discovered of my own as I was doing the pattern. So if you want to make these transformer bags, make sure to buy the pattern because that's cool. Like what you should do whenever you want to make something like this is support the designer instead of trying to figure it out on your own. And then I'll give you some Mixed Domestic Matthew tips and tricks. And then I'll show you some more fabric at the end that I purchased without purpose, and maybe y'all can help me decide what I'm gonna make with it. So my first pass going through Aneela Hoey's pattern was great. It's really well made, well done. No mistakes. So overall, yeah, it's a 5-star pattern. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great to follow, great diagrams. There were a couple things just to point out in it for those that have the pattern that are important. If you're a quilter, traditionally you use 1/4-inch seam allowance and you don't backstitch. So when you're making bags, things are going to change. It says in here that for the most part, it's a 1/2-inch seam allowance here. You're always going to backstitch at the beginning and the end of a stitch. That keeps everything secure. Because in bags, it's a short stitch length and the last thing you want is any of those threads to loosen. Doesn't have that security of that later on binding that a quilt would. So when it says to do that, make sure to do that. Super duper important. And there were only a couple times in the pattern when it wasn't a 1/2-inch seam allowance, but make sure, as with all patterns, to read through the entirety before you get started so you know where those places are in the pattern. The zipper lengths were accurate. And my zippers, I love them for their cuteness. They're plastic. I made the mistake of ironing over it, so I kind of like botched the zippers. I would recommend either not ironing it or getting like metal or a polyester to where it's not going to melt. But I fixed it, so it didn't impact the overall functionality of it. It's just I know that it's there. And one place that I will show you in the stitching of this was when I did the curve. Curves by themselves are a challenge if you haven't done them before, and then curves on a zipper are an additional challenge. So just anytime you're attaching a zipper to a curve, once you get on that curve, regardless of which direction the curve is going in, put some slots, just snip it to where it's going to remain inside of the seam allowance. That'll give it some spread whenever you put it along that curve, and you can just clip it in place. Use lots of clips or pins or glue basted if you choose to do that. But then whenever you flip it the other direction and the zipper could bunch, or any kind of curve could bunch and add extra bulk because it'll be wavy, then you want to put slots in it that are a V shape. So cut boop boop. Once again, inside the seam allowance, I used some pinking shears, which have the zigzag, just to make it a lot easier. There are a lot of layers. Made it pretty simple, remove the bulk. I even used it in places that didn't have curves to remove the bulk. And then it just made everything lie a lot flatter whenever I did this stitching right here, the top stitching along both of the curves. And then one other place, I don't know if I just was tired or if I didn't read the pattern fully, probably both, but where I put the zipper, as you can see, whenever I was attaching it to the lining instinctively, since the gusset was already attached, I didn't want to have it go over the gusset. But as you can see here, the zippers also include the gusset to go here. And I was attaching it right here. So once I realized where it was going to be attached, I did it all the way to the end. It said it in the pattern. It's just my brain wasn't braining right. And so that's something just to be aware of. I'm glad I didn't trim the zipper because that would have been an oopsie daisy. And then as with most bags, there's going to be a gap in some stitch that you're going to turn things right side out, just like in this pattern. And I like to use the ladder stitch, the invisible ladder stitch when I'm joining those. It's the lining, so if you wanted to use a whip stitch, you could totally do that. But for me, the ladder stitch, it's seamless, it's invisible. You can use that on lots of different apparel. You can use it on binding. You can use it on plushies if you sew those and are stitching them. Anytime you have to do a closure, it's a perfect invisible seam. No one will see it. And it's just fun. It's a kind of stitch that you can sit and watch Netflix and enjoy it. That's what I did whenever I was closing both of these. So yes, I would highly recommend this pattern. It was really great, user-friendly, definitely worth the money. Always support the designer anytime that you can. And yeah, this is a pattern I'm going to make over and over and over again. I got both of these done in a weekend. I would have done it all in a day if I had all of the supplies. But what an amazing gift for any crafter. I mean, you can use this as a makeup bag. You can use it as a DOP kit. You can use it for any kind of goodness right here. Like, whether you want to make this for yourself or as a gift for a crafter or a non-crafter, highly recommend. Was blown away by the design and functionality, and I had such a blast sewing these up over the weekend. So hopefully you enjoyed this pattern review. Super simple. Would encourage 100% for everyone to try out this pattern if you're a sewer. Fabric time. These are all Anna Maria Horner prints that I've purchased since I started purchasing fabric again. Let me showcase the ones that I used. This is from Love Always. Right here. It's a nice pink and like a mid-tone purple. And these are the prints that I just fell in love with and were my first purchase. These are from Brava. Oh my gosh. Look. Oh. This is like a light turquoise background. And then this is so bold. With the black, it's gorgeous. Brings in some yellows. A lot of similar colors to where they go. See these two. Oh, it's beautiful. It's exquisite. So this is what I made the bags out of. I bought a yard of each, so I still have more to make. Other things, I don't know what else I should make with these, but these three I purchased in a pairing. Ooh! In addition to these, remember I purchased these at the same time. I forgot about this. Oh my gosh, what is this? This one is also from Love Always. Aww. Wow, she a gifted designer. The scale is magnificent. No idea what I should make with this. Yeah, this repeats large. Here's this one. So if you want to give me a tip of what to make with these, this also I got a yard. And this one is from Fluent. Oh my gosh. These colors are divine. Also a yard. And then these, I bought these. I met Anna Maria for the first time in real life at QuiltCon this year, and I was like, I don't know what to get, so just pick a fabric for me. And I met two of her daughters, and a son. They were there to help, and they picked this fabric out. The butterflies are divine. I got 3 yards of this. I don't know, like a little shirt, I'm thinking. A quilt back even. But like, these are just gorge. And then I got 2 different accent. So I could have a delicate accent and then a hot and spicy accent, both of which go with this. No idea. Once again, a big duffel bag. So if y'all have any ideas for these fabrics, that would be great. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Yeah. So on that note, happy sewing, everybody.